Hey everyone, Rachel here. I'm an Oracle spiritual healer and teacher. Um, and I've been doing so for the last 9 years, or even longer, really. I've been an Oracle, not quite that long, but I've been a teacher of metaphysics and spirituality for over a decade. So, and I have many different ways in which I do those things. Today, I want to look at the new moon coming up this month. And I've written down what wants to be shared. I'm going to pull some cards around it too. And just a reminder, if this is the first time you're seeing an energy reading I do about a celestial event, sidereal astrology translates to real star time. So it's the actual position of the star bodies in the sky in relationship to us here on Earth, which is different from Western astrology, also known as tropical astrology. Every other type of astrology I know of uses real star time as a way to sort of look at the energy, look at the influences, or the mirroring effect, really, of what's happening. As far as I know, I'm not an expert on astrology, but as far as I know, it's tropical or Western astrology that uses a fixed time that is no longer correct, right? It's our relationship to the sun, and so that's why you can have more than one sign as your sun sign in more than one house or sign, right? Like I'm a tropical Taurus and a sidereal Aries. So if that's the case for you, you're walking in between those two energies, right? And they sort of go back and forth. And that's really this whole case with tropical and sidereal or Vedic, the real start time. So Vedic and a sidereal is actually giving us a look at our potential we have any lifetime. It's what we're walking into, we're trying to become and evolve into. And tropical gives us a really great idea of where we're coming from on a soul level, like what karma we're bringing in, our wounding, our gifts. So it's helpful. So at any period of your life, you may feel more like, your tropical sign, or you may feel like more of your sidereal or Vedic sign, right? So that's just something to be aware of. But when I do these readings, I always do it from a sidereal lens. And so I look up where the moon's going to be, what sign it's going to be in, and sometimes other influences as well that are strong at that time. And I feel into the energy. And then I'm looking, because I'm clairvoyant, I look at what wants to be shown to me. And usually in these sort of celestial body readings is a combination of my guide showing me images and also telling me things. So through clairaudience. So with this new moon, and the other thing I want to add is the moon, right? Every moon cycle, so lunar cycle, right? It's the filter in which things come through. So this filter this month, this new moon cycle, is coming in through Taurus. And it's exalted, which means it's the strongest sort of it can be, and it's this positive energy. So some of those words that were coming up was the strength, the steadfastness, determination, the sensuality. And what I mean by that is, there are different sort of ways in which we experience sensuality, right? It can even be with our food or, how we feel our sheets on our skin. And pleasure, money is coming up, steadiness and groundedness. The other things that this has to do with is like luxury. Taurus is definitely the sign of like wealth, beautiful things, luxury. And saying that, Venus is also in the mix here. It's having an influence as well. And what this is bringing up energetically is there's a sort of swirl of feminine energy, and there's a sense of refinement, which is that sort of luxury part. And the two together feel very focused and directed towards a goal, or like a, on a trajectory. And it's like noble. We know what we want, where we want to go, and that's where we're going. So this translates to us feeling a draw or a pull towards something new. It's not like all the details are figured out, because that's not what this energy is. It's like, but you feel, it's like this feeling like, I need to do this now, or I need to try this next, or I need to let this go, right? But that there's a sort of a direction that's clear that needs to be taken. So it's it's like it's like forging forward into something slightly unknown, but felt internally like it's necessary. This is a necessary thing that has to be done. I do sense that sittiness collectively, like I feel people sort of like the fear is not coming up as much, and the anxiety is not coming up as much, but there's more of like, okay, I can do this. I got this. So I'm feeling that. So as we navigate this sort of constantly changing time, which is like on a daily basis, something's coming out, something news, inside information. It's on a daily basis. So if you have felt off kilter, right? This lunar cycle will help you find your center again, especially if you have a planet or a star body in Taurus, or in the second house that's ruled by Taurus. You're going to especially feel that in regards to that specific aspect, but just generally speaking. I do see money going through a transformation as well. And that'll really depend on the currency, right? Because every currency has a different frequency. And then every sort of country and region, that'll also impact how our finances are shifting. Because you have to remember that each country has its own sort of karma with money. Some have more positive flow, some have more challenges. So that'll also impact how things are transformed. Yeah. And this isn't, when I talk about the transformation, this isn't on this huge scale. I do see our whole financial institutions drastically changing. Even our currency is changing. Not this year. That's years off. But there's this undercurrent of change. And I want to look at that so I can give you some more specifics around how I see that evolving. Yeah, so this is tied into what I was going to say next. So I'll go ahead and say it. So I'll get to that in a second. So people are growing more comfortable with this sort of financial uncertainty that just exists. And the fear is starting to wane. And again, this is general. It depends on what your base sort of relationship with money and resources, also your karma around it, because we each have our individual karma. So, so the innovation, this is the part I was going to share with you, is also going to be stirring up. It's under the surface and it's on its way. So this is going to help with the economy. And I'm going to do an upcoming video about the economy specifically, because I think it's important. And I know people are wondering and questioning. So I'm going to do a video specifically about the US economy, and we'll dabble in the world economy, because the US economy is going to affect the world economy. And there's some countries that have a greater impact on, it's like global finances, global trade, almost like the global infrastructure of how money moves, right? And the US is one of them. So I'm going to do a video about that. But what I'm seeing is that it's like people who are sort of on the same levels like a Mark Cuban. And I'm not saying it's Mark Cuban, but it's that sort of person who's in business of some sort, who's successful, highly successful in what they do, has resources, is creative, problem sort of solving, creative person, cares about people and like impact, and slightly political. Those are the types of people I see sort of coming up with solutions, wanting to innovate things, to get things moving. It's like, because, I'll save this for the economy video, but there are some people who don't know what they're doing, and it's becoming more and more obvious. And so other people have to sort of, they're feeling, again, there's that direction that they need to step in and do something. So that's what I see coming in. There are also, outside of specifically the moon and the sign that it's in, there are these other bigger energies working as well that are happening more on a global scale. I see things being shifted and adjusted, that feels karmic or tied to justice. So I want you to think about that, like, karmic in the sense that, or another way of thinking about, like the Wheel of Fortune, like like time is up. That this is not going to happen anymore. This needs to adjust because karmically this isn't working. Yeah. Like the scales of justice tipping, right? It needs to be adjusted. So shakeups, shakedowns, explosive news on the horizon. It's like life-altering news. So things are getting cleared out. And what I want to do with that, because I want to do a video about what's happening in some of the legal cases in the US and how I see that affecting this sort of bigger healing trend that we're on collectively. So I'm going to do a video about that as well. But the shake-up, shakedowns, sort of life-altering events and news, for some people, it will put them on a new path, in a new direction. New trajectory. For some, that'll be like receiving a blessing, a gift. And so again, this is very individual. It is also tied to karma. And when I'm talking about karma in this way, it's like, one of the beautiful things about sort of the like universal laws and energy is like, there are moments for all of us where it's like, again, like the time is up, whether we've had been struggling with something for lifetimes, or if you don't believe in lifetimes, then just consider this life, that it's like, that it's like you've had enough, and we're going to release you, we're going to relieve you from this. Like, this isn't going to happen this time around, sort of thing. For other people, that might show up as, so it could be a positive thing, like, like the gift, or it can be like, this behavior has been cycling through this life or other lives. It's too destructive, and that's not where things are going. So it needs to be shifted, right? And so karma needs to come, it's coming in. Justice needs to come in. And so if we think about where we're heading collectively, the earth is heading into ascension. We're all heading into ascension. So things that are holding us back from the ascension, that's what's that's not partly, that's what's getting cleared up, are the things that are sort of keeping us back from liberation, from expansion, from balance, because that is the trajectory. Literally everything is moving in. And so the resistance to that, individually and collectively, it's what's being sort of purified, burned up. So let me pull some cards around this new moon, and that energy. I haven't shuffled up these cards yet. So this first deck, which I was surprised they wanted to use, it's called this True Love deck. And this is one of my old mentors. This is her deck, Belinda, from Australia. So I want to see what they have to say about this lunar cycle. And again, not only about this moon in Taurus, but these bigger energies that are around. Connection. Let me see what that's about. Yeah, connecting with her people, connecting with their tribes, connecting with their families. That's another thing that this Taurus energy is about, because it's grounded, it's centered. And when we're grounded and centered, we're sort of connecting in that more, community type way. It feels easier, right? Because that's sort of the energy. There's that steadiness. That's what that's about. Self-respect. Yeah. That has to do with, again, and I've talked about this in other videos, about us standing up for ourselves. We have to reclaim our freedom, and that's part of this karma that's getting cleared up right now, is us not allowing our power to be taken away from us, and reclaiming our power, reclaiming our freedoms. It's so important that it's our birthright. It's our birthright to be free, to be who we are. So the self-respect card has to do with that. But even on an individual scale, it's, for some people, this is going to manifest either through their relationships, through their careers, of like, again, like, oh, I'm letting this happen to me. I'm done with this. I'm going to love myself. I'm going to give myself what I want, what I need, in not a sort of, surface level or self-centered way at all, but in a deeply healing way, because I've been giving this away. I've been giving my freedom away. I've been giving my power away. I've been allowing myself to be walked all over, abused, whatever it is. It's bringing that in, that energy in, of us getting clear. And that is part of what, for some people, is going to redirect them onto a different trajectory, different path. Okay, one more card from this deck. And the garden. Yeah. The garden is the feminine. It's the lushness. It's the being nurtured. It's the ease. It's the flow. It's such a perfect representation of Taurus too, because it's like, oh, I have my grapes here and my apples there and my pumpkins are there. And it's just like, it's the abundance. It's the abundance. Yeah, that's beautiful. And that's the feminine. I mean, Taurus isn't, I would not say traditionally seen as a feminine sign, but it has those feminine qualities. And one of those qualities is the quality of abundance. Oh, that I have enough. I have enough people around me. Feels good. I have, the food I love, the I'm going to say the sheets again, the nice soft sheets I love, all of that. So, okay, next deck, and then we'll be done with this. This is from my Goddesses, Gods, and Guardians deck. And again, I I haven't shuffled this one yet. Divine messages. Okay, what's this one about? Okay, this is the what they're talking about is like this sort of seismic information, seismic, yeah, turn of events that are going to be taking place. That's what that's about. And her strength. And this is where, again, generally speaking, this is what I see coming in is that steadiness, the strength, sort of the steadfastness, right? Not sort of getting swayed off, but nope, this is what I got to do. This is what we're doing. Nothing's going to, get me off at that path. And eternal love. This is a reminder that this is all coming from love, which is hard to feel sometimes when you don't like what's going on, right? Or you're having a hard time with it, or things feel uncertain. It's hard to remember that this is all coming from this place of truly deep love, and truly deep respect. And the universe or God, however you want to think about this force is bigger than us, is that it is guiding us towards something better than what we have, guiding us towards a better version of ourselves. And the less we resist, the more we surrender and listen, right, to the messages, the more flow just happens. The easier it is, the more flow. And then that's when we can recognize that love. That's when we see it. That's when we feel it, right? And it can be in the smallest ways. The crows have been visiting me a lot lately. And crows are messengers of divinity. Their wisdom. They bring through information from other dimensions, and help sort of integrate them within us. And so they come to me, it's just like this, again, like a friend, a spiritual messenger, a reminder to me of how much love there is. So you may have your own version of that. I hope that you do. I hope you have your own version of recognizing love that's maybe not, what we've been conditioned to recognize it as, but something bigger that's omnipresent. So that's what I leave you with today. If you haven't yet, please consider liking this video, subscribing to this channel, as it is greatly appreciated.